Hi, it's Roni, and welcome to my channel. And to a Punched Out Thursday to Die For with Kathy, Krista, myself, Dorothy, Rebecca, and Sonia. And one or more of them might be on vacation. I'm going to scrap that picture of my grandson, and I'm going to use these various punches, well, except for the one that looked like the little branch because I forgot. But I will use all the others. And I did get kind of started on my fish. Yeah, before the video got turned on. But I made just a few, not very many, but I am going to make a couple of more. And I'm using my smaller oval punch. I'm using the bow punch, for the fish tail, plus the butterflies for the fish tail and fins and mouth too. The little tiny ones you see laying there, yeah, they go for the mouth. And I also used those decorative scissors. They were still laying here since my last video using them, so I went ahead and used them again. They were handy. And I'm sorry for the video being blurry. I don't know what caused it. I'll have to try to figure it out. But unfortunately, I did several layouts. I was having a good old time doing layouts. And so I haven't edited any of them until this one. And I'm worried the others might be blurry too. But I'm editing it and loading it up anyway. I A couple of the ones that I already have done, I just took dot with my uh, felt tip marker and did the black part of the eye. However, I pulled my 1/4 inch, no, it'd be 1/8 inch punch, 1/8 inch punch out and put the black part on the middle of the eye. And there you see me adding the mouth for that fish. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make one with a funny little fin there, like Nemo's. So yeah, that one's got the funny little fin there. I couldn't resist. I thought about it on the other three. I did it and didn't do it. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So yeah, he's got a little fin on one side. The other side, y'all can't see it, but it's bigger. And this one, let's see, I think that's the one I used the bow on there, and then of course the butterflies with it. But that's why his tail's a little bit bigger and shaped a little bit different, because I cut the tip end off of the bow. But one in the bowl, the tail looks big because I had more length on it, and you will see it when I pick the fish up. And here I'm making the cane pole, and see those dark lines in there? Well, the cane pole has like little joint things putting the pieces together, and there's several of them. And so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make a cane pole and use the little lines on the wood grain. Well, I decided I need them thicker, so I am going to be using some brown cardstock instead. And see those little things there? I use bottles, soda bottles. They are soda bottles, and I use them so that um, I'd have an end on my cane pole, because it does have a metal end on it. And of course the joints are metal. And a little circle thing there so you could go ahead and put your line on there. At least I think that's how they were. I never used one, not even once. But my brothers did. They, instead of them having rods and reels, they had cane poles. And I seen them. And yeah, they went fishing a lot with them. And they're long. I might have mentioned that already, but they're long. And so I laid that piece of plaid out there so I kind of, you know, in my head be measuring up against it for the 12 inches, because I knew I was going to have, well, I was thinking longer, 12 inches, because I planned on angling the bowl. And I wanted to, I could have just cut two of these, which I ended up doing because I decided towards the end of making it that I was just going to have a 12-inch pole, which is good because, the way I had to angle it, I didn't want to go across the photo. So yeah, 12 inches was just fine. But, well, a little bit longer with the little bottle tip on the end. But I am actually taking my little scissors and making a little piece sticking out on that wood so that it's not smoothly cut. And that's because at first I planned on just using those, but I kept looking at them and thinking, oh, I think they need to be more dominant. So yeah, you will see me pull brown cardstock out for that. And I'm just trimming the bottle where I'm using the end because it kind of looks like the end as far as I remember on the cane pole. And oh, here I am measuring the other and to make sure it is the same size. I'm going to taper it a little towards the end. Well, I think I did it on the first one. And this is the one that's going to connect and be the part that they hold on to. But yeah, it's going to be kind of on the long side. And while I'm doing all that and you're watching, I'll tell you about the photo. It's a picture of my grandson, and he was almost 2. He wasn't quite 2. And my daughter and his dad and them all went fishing at a pond, and he decided he wanted to fish. Well, they didn't think about him wanting to fish, so they didn't bring nothing, but they found a stick. And you will see him holding the stick in the photo because that was his fishing pole. And he was pretty proud of it. Yeah, here's the first one of the little. See, I want them darker and heavier than those little notches, grooves, or whatever that's in the wood already. But at first I thought, just making them a little wider than the wood part was would make me happy, but it didn't. So that's why I went ahead and cut a strip and made those darker ones instead. And oh, the ring that's on the end of the pole is just that wedding ring punch, and I'm cutting it down so it could just fit behind there, and then have the ring there so I can put my twine through it. And I don't think I've ever used those rings as wedding rings. They've always been something else on my layout. It was a gift. Yeah, I got a long time ago in a package. I think we called it, we were doing an exchange when we had a crop here at the house, and I told everybody we were going to have, a happy. We just called it a happy. I said, put something inexpensive in a bag for everybody, and they will have one for you. And so, yeah, that was what I got. And cute little ring set. I just haven't never used them as rings. And here's my bobbers. And I used a 3/4 inch punch. And see that paper there? I bought that forever ago. It's really thin, so I put cardstock behind it. And it's looked to me like it was a fishing vessel, but up there where the sails are at. And I thought, well, he's not on a ship, but I have not used this yet. So even though he wasn't on a ship, I was going to go ahead and use it. So yeah, and see that strip right there? That was for last week's layout, but I decided I didn't like it, and so I didn't use it. And then I felt guilty about not using it all week, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and use it because it's just going to sit there unless I do. And I like it better this week. I don't know why, but I do. So I went ahead and put it on here. I did, um, between last week and this week, to kind of check it out and decide what I wanted to do with it. I did mat it on the back of that plaid where it's a solid blue, so the edges are solid blue cardstock. And maybe that's why I like it a little bit more. I don't know. I used my grass punch, and I'm going to go ahead and put grass across the bottom because I was getting ready to put my cane pole there and thought, well, I wanted I wanted something for it to tuck into. So yeah, I put some grass down so that I'd have something. But while I'm putting the grass down on the fishing pole, I want to mention, if you look down there below, you will see the links to the other gals that are doing the Punched Out Thursday to Die For. And even if they're on vacation, they might have a video you want to watch. So be sure and check it out. I did put that border strip on there on foam tape, so that meant that I had to put my cane pole on foam tape, and see how well I am going around the mention of what's on that piece of paper. I'm not saying shark are well, that's what I was trying to do. So I am not going to distinguish what they are. But I am going to go ahead and put twine on there, and I'm going to string flow, make the twine flow across the page with a little help from the glue, and I'm going to put a fish on the end of the line when I get around there. And yeah, I thought, I didn't succeed last week in getting it right, so I'm not even going to try this week. Oh, I did need a bobber on here because with cane poles, you have to have a bobber. And of course, you got to hold that cane pole. You can't lay it down. Well, you can prop it up maybe if you're pretty good, but my brothers sat there and held theirs. And as soon as that bobber would go bobbing, they'd jerk that pole up and yeah, fling it around there. You had to make sure you were not in the way because they were trying to be fast. Sometimes they'd have a fish on the end. Sometimes they'd be quicker than the fish, and out it would come and no fish. But yeah, I thought I got to put a cane pole on here. Even see his stick right there? It's got a hook on the end even. So yeah, it was pretty cute, and he was pretty proud of it. And I'm just tucking, I thought about putting bobbers, like here and there on the plaid. And I liked that, but then I decided to tuck them in with the fish. And instead of the stringer being on something, and I just put a bow at the top with my twine. I thought, well, I'm going to do that. It'd be a little different from what I normally would do. But yeah, I put a bow on the top. And, oh, I'm using that sticker, and it says snips and snails and puppy dog tails. That's what little boys are made of. And then I'm also going to use Gone Fishing. And since I have that background, I thought I'd use the title Dreams of the Sea. And I'm decided to go ahead and do it red. And I use my, I don't know why I can never think of the name of that dye. And it's one of my favorite dyes. But I use the Echo Park little letters, letterbox. See, I said the word letters and remembered letterbox. But yeah, it's kind of reflecting on his stick. You can't see it too well, but he was pretty proud of it. And there's my border. And see how I added the blue behind it. And here's my fish on a stringer with just a bow instead. And yeah, I tried to make them all just a little bit different and see where I used the little decorative scissors. And that fish that's on the pole, he's got a double fin where he can flap his little fin where the others are glued down just a little bit more. But I folded a butterfly in half for that. And there's my pole with the little connectors. I'm going to call them connectors. I'm not sure what they are, but I know they were usually dark. And then I put metal on the end for my wedding ring to go into for the string. And that's it. That's my layout. If you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.